This is Hardcore Minecraft, a mode in Minecraft where if you die, you lose everything, all your loot, and you can't go back to get it. So like any sane human would do, I made a world. So welcome to I Survived 50 Days in Hardcore Minecraft. On day 1, I decided to get some wood, get some stone tools, and I did grab a little piece of sugarcane there. Here you can see me making a wooden pickaxe so that I could get all the stone. Then I made stone tools, got some food, and I decided to go down. Now when I was mining for iron, I found a mine shaft and decided I might as well go in since I'm still on day 0. I found some iron, easily, enough to make full iron. Then I mined up some rails for a later project. Then it became day 1. I stayed in the mine shaft looking for more ores, and I even managed to find some diamonds. However, I was challenged by a skeleton as well as a creeper, but I managed to fend them off and mine up the diamonds. It was a 2 vein, enough to make me a sword or enough to save on to make some more gear. I also found these mine carts with chests and even found a golden apple, something capable of saving me in a dire situation. I then decided to go up and look around because I needed food and I needed a base. As I was looking around, getting wood, getting food, I saw this llama. He was just kind of chilling. But then I was running and I actually saw a village, as you can see right here. Then I killed this cow, but I didn't pick up the beef because my inventory was full, so I dropped a piece of andesite, got the beef, and head over to the village where I looted up as much as I could, but there wasn't much to loot. So I just went to sleep. As I arose for day 2, I decided to go enjoy the beauty of Minecraft as the sun rose. And honestly, this is the whole reason I'm doing this whole thing in the first place. Just because Minecraft is so amazing. After grabbing a good bit of wood, I decided to make a chest to kind of clear out my inventory, put all my valuables in it. I then figured it was time to start working on my base, so I got to terraforming. The terraforming took a really long time, and I wasn't even done by the end of day 2, so I knew that waking up for day 3, I had a big day ahead of me. I decided to lock this villager in just so no one could get to him overnight. And honestly, I tried to be a gentleman here, but he didn't feel like going out before me, so decided I'd just go out. I also thought that iron golem was mad at me, so I ran away. I kept terraforming later in the day, and also decided to plant some sugarcane, as well as plant a couple trees just to make some easier access for wood. I continued terraforming until I finally went to sleep and woke up on day 4 to keep going at terraforming, until I found this beautiful horse that I decided to mount. It seemed very quick, so I wanted to get it, and I also had a saddle from one of the village chests. As I tamed it and put the saddle on, I rode, and I realized it was very fast, and that this would be a keeper. So I decided to use the lead that I got from a wandering trader to keep it on a fence post. And then I started building up the walls of my house with acacia wood, the easiest wood to access near me. Also, I feel like acacia is very underappreciated. Although it's not the best wood, it's not that bad. So after building up my house walls, I went to sleep for day 4, woke up on day 5, and decided to actually build my horse a house. And this project took a while. It took me from day 5 until day 6, and I honestly don't hate how it turned out. I think the roof could have looked a lot better, but I'm not a very good builder, so just to have it turn out like this, I wasn't that mad. You'll see in a sec. It's not too bad.
Wow. Now this is one beautiful home here.
Now you may have sensed the sarcasm in my voice, but in all honesty, looking back, it wasn't that bad. I continued working on the house and put some banners up, got to shoveling the floor so that I could make my own unique flooring, until day 6 finally ended and I went to bed. I woke up on day 7 with an idea from the chat,
Strip the logs, you think?
and it was a good idea. I didn't want to have the same look as my horse's house. That would just be inappropriate, to be honest. So I stripped all the logs, and it was a good idea. The rest of day 7 consisted of me digging my floor and placing my floor, and it took a very long time to complete this, and I even had to take it into day 8. As you can see, I had to take a quick sleep. But on day 8, I continued the grind of placing all these slabs and just trying to get the flooring completely finished so that I could work on the walls. But as I was working on the walls, I got an epiphany. Why was I working on my house when I didn't even have good gear? But honestly, I didn't know, it just felt right. So I just kept working. Honestly, I think building a house just was more peaceful in the time, and that's what I started the world to do. So I kept working until I eventually got super bored of just placing all these slabs, and also it was taking a long time for the cobblestone to smelt into stone for my floors. So I decided to start a mine and decided to just dig down in a 3x3. I kept digging till it became nighttime and I had to just go to bed. But waking up on day 9, a lot of my stone had smelted, so I built all the flooring I could until I decided to go keep working on my mine, which I had made a lot of good progress last time, but I needed to just keep going and get at least down to iron. But I eventually got bored of that, so just decided to keep going at my house, doing anything I could to finish this flooring so I could actually get started on the walls. And once I was on the walls, I would be able to finish the house in no time. It was just this part that took a long time. So long, in fact, that it actually took me to the end of day 9, and I still had more work to do. So waking up on day 10, I decided to just keep smelting the stone and keep working on the mine. By the end of day 10, I was nearly done with the flooring and could almost start working on the walls, which I was excited to actually finish with. On day 11, I woke up and I finished placing all the slabs, so now I could start working on all the decorations. But guys, I do want to warn you, I am not a good builder, so don't expect this house to look good when it's finished. That is the one warning I will give you before you make any silly assumptions. Days 11 through 17 were spent tirelessly working on this house until I was done with all the decor, done with all the placing of leaves, glass, and even smooth stone, until...
I'm not building a roof, by the way.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't the greatest build, but it wasn't that bad, to be quite frank. The rest of day 17 was spent working on the mine, which I had actually made quite a bit of progress working on it for these last few days. And I actually found something pretty interesting on day 17.
Oh boy. Big cave. We are not going down there.
Yeah, I felt in this moment going into that cave was a bit too risky considering all the mobs, and I honestly thought that if I went in that cave it was just a straight up death sentence. So I dug around it and tried to start digging for some diamonds. While looking for diamonds, I found the most insane thing that has happened in this entire video. So I was just mining down until I found the entrance to a cave. And I thought nothing of it at the time, but...
Alright, here's a cave I can get behind.
I saw that first piece of iron.
Oh my god.
And then I saw more.
Big iron vein. It's one of these, like, massive iron veins. I don't know if you've ever seen these.
A massive iron vein. Something that could contain hundreds of raw iron. These cubes of raw iron give me 9 pieces each. This would be enough iron to last me for weeks in game.
Let's see how much iron I get from this one area. This could be a good YouTube short.
So as it became nighttime, I left the caves on a huge W with hundreds of raw iron in my pockets, and went to sleep in my new bed. Waking up on day 18, I knew I needed to get this iron smelting, because it would take forever, because there was just so much of it. Not a bad problem to have, if you ask me. I then went back down to the area with all the iron to collect any remains that I missed the first time. After that, I actually found a pretty decent cave, and it actually had some good stuff in it, including iron and diamonds.
Bro, this is a good cave. Diamonds! Nice. A one vein. Not bad. That's all I needed.
And although I only needed one more to make a diamond pick,
They'd be right there. Nice.
I found more.
Let me make sure. Okay, we're up to 2 diamonds.
But little did I know that this cave would be my first time looking in the eyes of death. An Enderman. Something that could have killed me, but I was able to take it out with my iron sword.
Why does that do so much damage?
While in the cave, it became day 19, which consisted of mining as well as returning back to my base.
It's time to make a villager hall.
That's right, I'm making a villager hall, something that I could use to get diamond armor as well as enchantments for my armor and tools. Very useful, but also very difficult to pull off. So I started placing rails in order to get villagers in minecarts and bring them over to my base.
Of pure imagination.
I successfully captured one. Now I just needed one more, because I could breed them with each other, but before that could happen, I needed to go to sleep and get on with day 20.
So, hop in bed.
On day 20, I headed back over to the village, but a baby villager hopped into my minecart, but I decided might as well just take him, and this other villager would just have to wait for a second.
That villager is just preying on the young.
Anyways, I made a railroad to my house, pushed the baby in it, and it went perfectly as planned. And I got both the villagers into my little breeding area.
Perfect. Now I just need beds.
However, day 20 was coming to a close, so I decided to just get in bed and make a sheep farm the next
There we
day
go.
so that I could get beds for the villager breeding area.
Perfect.
But while these two show each other some
Now
love,
they just get
I'm going to
busy.
kindly ask you guys to show me some love by subscribing. If you've made it this far, you probably enjoyed this video, so if you want to see more videos just like this one, hit that subscribe button. It's free, it helps me out a bunch, and a very small proportion of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so if you want to be in that small proportion, hit the sub button.
They do not like their situation. That much is obvious.
I placed my first beds for the villagers, and it seemed that the adult villager was kind of chasing the kid villager. Not sure what that was about, but I didn't really mind. Kind of enjoyed it actually. But I just decided to keep working on my own thing while I waited for the kid to grow up. I decided it was finally time to make a wheat farm for these sheep, so I built out into the ocean, which honestly wasn't that smart because a lot of the times the farm didn't even spawn in when I was near my house, so a lot of the plants didn't grow, but it was better than nothing. I then decided to visit my sugarcane farm, which I clearly haven't visited in a while, and I harvested everything. And then I even decided that I would expand this later on. But first I had to keep breeding my sheep so I could get more beds for the villagers. I also expanded my farm, but that's not very important. What was more important was when I came inside to go to bed on day 21, I noticed something. 2 adult villagers.
Nice.
The baby had grown up. So, going to sleep that night, I had great dreams. To start day 22, I immediately got these boys breeding. I expected them to have a good amount of babies since I had a good amount of beds down, and they've known each other for quite some time. In fact, the baby was 8 years old when he met the man who was 36. They've known each other for 12 years now, so they should be able to really get it on in bed. As I waited for them to get freaky, I breeded some more sheeps and sheared them up so I could get all the wool and get more villagers. I also worked on my farm a bit so I could keep this sheep breeding sustainable. When I came back inside, I checked on the villagers and sure enough, they got busy.
Nice. 3 kids. Not bad.
I then gave them some more bread so they could keep doing, I then decided to make a cow farm as well, as I needed a more sustainable source of food. I have currently just been flint and stealing every mob that walks by, but now I actually have a way to have a steady income of food. When I woke up on day 23, I checked the villagers, and sure enough, there were more babies. It seems they've been getting even more active. Day 23 was pretty much just all minuscule things like farming and whatnot, so I decided not to really show much, but I went to sleep with big plans for day 24. I decided it was finally time to actually do something with these villagers, so I set up a little area for a villager to go into and placed the lectern, hoping I would get a librarian to go in this spot. I decided the best way to accomplish this would be to rail the librarian into its little corner. But when I tried doing this, I was genuinely so confused where it went, and honestly, I still don't know as of right now. So comment down below if you have an idea of where the villager might have gone. As I continued trying to get this villager to be trapped, he pushed his friend into the cart because he didn't want to go. So I decided, what the heck, might as well just take this guy, right? But there was one small issue with this. See, every time I placed the lectern, it would only go to that one villager. So this guy would never be able to become a lectern. I hadn't realized that until later on. Now that I had him trapped, I decided to go to bed, and it was halfway over. 25 days down, 25 to go. Day 25 was spent giving villagers jobs and trapping them in locations outside of their breeding grounds. I got a Fletcher so that I could trade sticks for emeralds, the best trade in my opinion. As I woke up on day 26, I had a goal. Get OP villagers that will give me OP loot so that way I could become unkillable. So that's exactly what I did. I spent hours of the day breaking this lectern, replacing it to try to get good enchants on a librarian. And honestly, I did not expect this to happen that quickly, but it did, and I'm not one to complain. A mending book, something capable of mending my armor and tools with experience. This is very important as it will allow me to maintain the same tools and armor set for the entire series. But I don't even have any tools yet, or armor, except these little iron ones. So I needed to lock in order to get the best gear possible. So for the next couple days, that's exactly what I did. I started the enchantment table, went mining for diamonds, And also decided to get things for villager trading, like coal, which could be used for one of my villagers who was offering 1 emerald for 15 coal. However, this excursion was a dangerous one. As I was peacefully mining coal, I got ran up on in a cave because it was dark and mobs could easily spawn. I tried lighting it up with flint and steel, but nothing worked. I didn't have any torches to my name, and so this happened. I was now at 4 hearts. 3 more hits could kill me. Then I missed my water bucket. I'm at 2 hearts. 1 hit could take me down, but I managed to escape. Barely. And this gave me a reality check. I need to be much more careful when fighting mobs. I was not paying attention, and I almost paid the price for it. I continued maxing things through day 31, trying to get a protection 4 villager, but this one was a lot harder than the mending villager. It took me a long time, but eventually I decided to just come back and try another day. On day 32 I made myself diamond tools, but didn't really do anything else. On day 33 I worked on my cow farm a little bit. My first piece of diamond armor with emeralds. I noticed that there's a diamond chest plate waiting for me when I get to 31 emeralds now. I also need to level up my armor a little bit more so that he can unlock that trade. I spent day 34 and day 35 mining, trying to get levels and diamonds. And also I took some gold for golden apples as well. Might as well when you're in the mines. I spent all of day 36 trying to get back up to the surface as I had been mining for a long time.
Yep.
Day 37. I got full diamond. I finally got enough emeralds and enough diamonds to get fully diamond armor. Now, the next step, to enchant it. Protection 4 is the only thing that can keep me safe in intense situations. And even with that, I would still be unsafe at all times. On day 37, I also created another portal, but decided it wouldn't be safe to go into until I had full protection 4, which may come before day 50. On day 38, I took a risk. I enchanted my diamond pickaxe, as I saw Unbreaking 3 was the potential enchant. However, it wasn't the greatest. All I got was Unbreaking 3 and Fortune 2. On day 39, I decided to expand the cow farm as it was getting a little too crowded in this narrow space. I also made an ill-advised enchantment on my diamond boots.
Bro, that's not good. Alright.
On day 40, I continued making villager trades and working on farms, but nothing much more than that. On day 41, I finally got my protection 4 villager.
Oh, let's go! W's! Spam W's! Let's go, bro. That's big. Wait, I need to lock it in now.
I knew I needed to lock in the trade with 24 paper so that the offer couldn't change.
Bro, big W's.
Days 42 through 49, I spent entirely trying to get full protection 4 and sharpness 4 for my sword, and I was successful in the end. Going into day 50, I decided it was finally time to go to the Nether. Now that I had great stuff and a great sword, I think I should be able to survive.
Come on, be a good spawn. I don't have blocks on me. Wait, I guess I do. There's a bastion right there. Oh my gosh, no way.
A bastion is a type of structure in the Nether. it contains piglins, some of the most deadly mobs, but it also contains some of the greatest loot in any structure in all of Minecraft. So I started digging, and before long, I made it to the bastion. However, this experience was not going to be all fun and games. You see, there's such a thing called a piglin brute, one of the deadliest mobs in Minecraft. It immediately aggravates you, no matter what you do. I was even wearing a gold helmet, so that I would be unaggroed by all the piglins, but this didn't seem to work with brutes. That was the brute's deadliest attack. It could break your shield, just like that, and because of that, I had no way to defend myself in this fight. After killing the brute, I got aggravated by all the other piglins, which was a death sentence, so I knew I needed to escape and come back a different time.
Bro, that is so dangerous.
Well guys, that's gonna end it for this video. I hope you guys all enjoyed. If you want to see me play to day 100, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video. Also, if you made it this far, give me a name to name my horse. I haven't given it a name yet, and I have a spare name tag. Bye.